Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. And I'm going to start by saying, hey, listen, I got a brand new pup. It's his first night at the house. He's doing his crate training. It's his first time being away from his mom and his siblings and all of that kind of good stuff. And so you guys know how that can be the first night or three, perhaps. Hopefully it's just the one night and not the 3 or 4 nights. Definitely not. But you guys know how that goes. The whining, the crying, and all of that stuff, getting used to the new environments, the separation. So if he wakes up and he starts crying, he's asleep now. But if he wakes up and he starts crying, we'll see if we can manage it. If not, I may have to make an abrupt closure on this or abruptly close this message. But if I have to go that route, I'll make a follow-up video. Let's get into this, guys. If you're new to the channel, this ministry is promoting a holistic mind, body, and spirit path to health and wellness. And that's the first thing you're going to want to know. And then the the other first thing that you want to know is that this ministry puts a premium emphasis on what the good book refers to as the have-nots, or those that the good book refers to as the have-nots, the broken, the incarcerated, the homeless, the drug dealers, the sick, the rejected, the prostitutes, the criminals, any and everybody, those who are suffering from mental challenges and trauma, whether it's post-traumatic stress disorder or extreme depression and anxiety. Maybe there's some eating disorder. You get the picture. Those that are hurting the absolute most. These are the ones that a triage approach is taken by this ministry. And also welcoming any and everybody. You don't have to be amongst that group of people. You just have to have your heart in the right place. So for those people that are hurting, who haven't surrendered, who's still fighting on, keeping the hope, keeping the faith, welcome home. So with that, we're going to get off into today's message, where it's basically about the length of life. The length of life, and how, just as this ministry, what this ministry is all about, putting that premium emphasis on the have-nots and putting that premium emphasis on strengthening, nourishing, renewing, revitalizing, and prioritizing the mental self, the physical self, and the spiritual self. At the risk of redundancy, this message it's more important, if you will, or I put an emphasis on those that are hurting the most. You have to get this. And God willing, those that are hurting the less will also get this. We're all going through something. But the point that I'm making is, when it comes to the length of life, in order for us to squeeze, if you will, every ounce, every minute, every second, every opportunity of every breath, every day, every encounter, in order for us to maximize what this thing we call God, the universe, whatever word fits for you, to your likings, it's given us this beautiful opportunity. It's beautiful opportunity, and unfortunately, if we aren't careful, we can just be walking through life kind of blindfolded. But when you prioritize the mental you, the physical you, and the spiritual you, when I prioritize my mental self, physical self, and spiritual self, it helps us take the time out of the hustle and bustle of society, the things that keep us walking through life kind of blindfolded. It gives us a reprieve from all of those things. And we can sit back, stand back, lay back, kick back, and, as they would say, enjoy the roses. We can enjoy the journey. There is nothing more unfortunate than someone going through their life just kind of blind. You know what I mean by that. Just got to get up. The alarm goes off. Okay, time to get up. So programmed. So unaware of prioritizing the mental self, the physical self, and the spiritual self. The things that we engage in every single day. But if we're not consciously going through these things or consciously utilizing and giving thanks for these things, we might as well be blindfolded walking through a minefield. You get up, the alarm goes off, 2 feet on the floor, or you put your feet on the floor, get your shower, make your coffee, whatever your thing is, get the kids up, get them ready. Hustle and bustle through traffic, making sure you leave plenty of time to allow for the traffic that could just be so smooth all week, but then that one day when you don't account for traffic, it's backed up. Drop the kids off, head to work, grind it out at work. Get out, deal with the traffic again, go pick the kids up, maybe go by the store, maybe there's an opportunity to run an errand, maybe. Get to the house, you gotta cook, get the kids ready for bed, whatever cleaning or organizing you gotta do to close the night out. If you're lucky, you get 20, 30 minutes at the most, maybe an hour of television or kickback time, reading a book, whatever it is. And then you press, repeat. Go to bed, start up the next day. Same thing. Day in and day out. This is not living, guys. That's not living. To be alive means to be aware. If you're not aware, then you're just existing. And when I say aware, I mean like aware, not just I'm aware, okay, I'm woke. I know my car keys are over there. I know they're, to slow down for the stop sign. That's a form of simple programming. That's not being aware. If you're being aware, okay, even though I'm going through these things, I'm still smelling the roses, if you will. I'm still grateful for the roses. Like, what could life bring? The excitement, the joy, the hope, the enthusiasm, the love, the passion, the quest, to accomplish more wisdom. No one has time to be aware of that when they're just aware, if you will, of just going through traffic and doing the more programmed stuff. You ask somebody, the average person, who's just doing the 9 to 5, trying to get by, trying to make ends meet. You ask them, when's the last time that they really, really sat down and smelled the roses? When's the last time they really, really sat down and gave thanks? Just kicked their feet up, called an old friend, cuddled up, by a book, engaged in that hobby that once gave them so much love, so much joy. Spend time with friends and family or out in nature in a genuine way, not just going to the park and sitting down, but you're so unaware. You hear the birds, but you don't hear the birds. You feel the leaves trickling. You hear the leaves trickling under your feet, but you're not really aware of them. You're so busy on, okay, let me get over here, let me sit down, let me rest. Let me make these plans. Let me pull out the computer and do the work that I came out here to do. And life is too, the time of life, no matter how much you want to call it, how long one lives, the length of life. If you live 150 years old, if you live 250 years old, how does that add up when we consider the vastness of eternity? So the length of life is always a lot less, and I mean a lot less, than one grain of sand thrown upon all of the ocean's shores. If you collected all of the sand on all of the ocean shores throughout the world, and then you took one of those pieces of sand and cut it into about 10 pieces, one of those 10 pieces would be the equivalent of life, a life that we have been gifted to experience on this planet. That would be the amount in which that 50, 70, 80, 150, 250 years would amount to. And you see it when you go out there and you see people. You look at some people and you can just, whether you have a conversation with them and engage them, or whether you just glance their way and you happen to make eye contact, you can sense that most people are just hollow, just empty. There's nothing in there. The life has been drained out of them by the programming. And don't get me wrong, please get me right. You do have people that go through the programming when it comes to their mental self, their physical self, and their spiritual self. What do I mean by that? You do get people that go to the gym or prioritize, their diet or whatever. But even that is hollow. Even that is superficial. This is made evident when you see somebody, it's maybe not even a year ago, this guy, the great, renowned track and field guy, was a little bit older, but he grew up doing track and field his entire life. In great shape. Kept at it, never missed a beat when he retired. Middle-aged guy, still healthy, still running, still looking fit. And then just all of a sudden, drop dead. You get people that go through, and that's just one example. Reach out to the ministry if you'd like for me to provide you with some research and some study material where you can kind of check out that phenomenon where seemingly people that are physically healthy and they die, and then they go have an autopsy and it's a mystery. They just died. No disease, no accident, nothing underlying the surface. They just died. No heart attack, no nothing. They just died. This ministry is promoting a balance and the God-given synergy between mind, body, and spirit. And it happens all across the board. You get people that go to church or to mosque, whatever it is. They go there every Sunday. And as long as they're sitting there in those pews, they charged up, they turned up, they all about living the good life in terms of love and appreciation and treating your fellow man right and all these different things. But it could be 60 seconds after driving off of that church parking lot. Somebody cut them off in traffic, the phone rings, whatever. All that's washed away. They were in the church, mosque, temple, synagogue, or whatever, just going through the motion. And of course, the classic is when people think that they're engaged mentally. We've been deprogrammed, if you will, into thinking that, well, if we can, get up when the alarm goes off, and we can go to work and balance our checkbook and live in accordance with the laws and all that stuff. That means we're doing just fine mentally. But that's not what that means. That's not what that means even a little bit. All that actually means is that you're not suffering from a traumatic breakdown that would cause a person to go off the deep end and stop doing those things, or do something real illegal or unjustifiable as a result of going off the deep end. But just because people are walking around and they're not going off the deep end, doing the mass shootings, suicide or whatever, they're still empty, and a lot of people, as you know, are just mean-spirited because they're not putting in the mental work, and life is just steady passing them by. And then you have somebody just wake up and they got a terminal disease, or they just wake up and there's a horrible accident. Any number of things could happen. And then a person is sitting there reflecting, where did all the time go? They never smelt a single rose. Too focused on the task at hand, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You guys know that that's not what I'm saying. We should be focused on the task at hand. We should be focused on what we need to do within the system. But when there's a bleed over, and what you have to do from this program / the nuts and bolts things that we all have to do as human beings and good citizens or whatever, or just trying to be our best, whether we're so-called good citizens or not, because a lot of my spiritual brothers and sisters may not qualify for that. They may not meet that definition of good citizen, but they're trying. They haven't surrendered their hearts and souls. But either way, people just wake up and then something has happened. Something took place. And then they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs like, wow, what happened? They put no time, no effort into totally prioritizing in a very conscious way, in a very deliberate way, not in a going through the motions way, or not in a politically correct way. In a real, genuine, heartfelt and heart-birth way. They're prioritizing their mental selves. What can I learn today? What did I learn? What did I reflect upon? How did I handle myself in this situation or that situation? In what way did I use my mental creative faculties today? No one's pressing the pause button to think about that. It's just on autopilot. And the same thing goes for the spiritual man or woman as well. A lot of these spiritual, clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices that are provided by this ministry and other places as well, if your heart isn't into it, then you don't reap the benefits. It's the same thing when it comes to reading your holy book. You're reading your holy book because you have to read it and you made that commitment and that's a part of your faith. Okay, great. I celebrate that. But if you're just reading it for that, you're not putting your heart, you're not consciously reading that. You're just reading it blindfolded, so to speak. Then you're not going to reap the benefits of it. So we got to peel back several layers. We got to get behind the curtain See what's going on behind the curtain. We gotta dig underneath the soil to get down to the nitty gritty and come from a heart place when we prioritize our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And trust me, you know, as I do, that a lot of people aren't really prioritizing either of those, let alone one out of the two, one out of the three, or two out of the three. So if you're out there and you're hurting and you're suffering and you're trying to get that breakthrough, you're just trying to, maybe you have all the breakthroughs that you have sought to get, but you still feel, kind of empty. You still feel unfulfilled. Do something in a meaningful way, in a conscious way, that shows this thing that we call God or the universe that you're serious, that you do genuinely appreciate that you have a sound mind, a strong body, and a clean spirit. This is what we need to be doing, guys. When we do this, we live a fulfilled life. No matter what challenges the universe throws your way, no matter what challenges the universe may throw my way, when we take those little seconds, those little moments, those little minutes, those few hours, couple of hours, several hours, whatever it is, when your heart is in the right place and you sit down and consciously say, man, you know what? Yeah, I feel good today. I'm conscious of the fact that I feel good. Or I'm conscious of the fact that I don't feel so great. What the boss said earlier that day, what the spouse did, the kids yelling, it's okay. You don't have to fake it. You just have to be conscious of it, aware of it. Mentally, physically, and spiritually. Just don't go to church and just sit there and sing the songs and clap your hands because that's what you should be doing. Don't just go to the gym and work out because that's what you should be doing. And don't be going through life thinking that because, you can dot the I's and cross the T's when it comes to meeting the expectations from a mental standpoint on the job or whatever. That's not good enough. That's not what he made you for. He didn't make me for that. He didn't make his children for that. He said that he came to give us life and give us life more abundantly. So as I wrap this up, keep that in mind, guys. The length of life, if you're trying to really get the absolute most out of it, it's not the money that's going to do it for you. For those of you that's got money but you want more, it's not getting more money that's going to do it for you. It's not the raise. It's not the relationship. It's not moving out of that neighborhood. Those things may be of benefit, but if you're empty on the inside, if you're not prioritizing your own mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness, then none of those things will do it for you. They may help you feel good. They may be a Band-Aid, help you feel good for a week or so. But once you get used to that new diamond ring, you got used to that new spouse and the honeymoon is over. You got used to having that promotion or getting that promotion that you fought all those years to get. Once you get it, if you're not properly merging, balancing, and synthesizing the mental, physical, and spiritual you, then it's going to be so fleeting. It's going to be like it never existed in the first place. And then what's natural for a human being? Those that are not fully awakened yet, and I say that very humbly, the next thing to do is to find something else to fill that hole with because you thought the money would do it. You thought buying the house would do it. You thought you and your honey, you guys going on your 20th reunion would do it. You thought losing the weight would do it. And when you got those things, you found out they did it, but only very briefly because there's a piece missing, and that piece is the merging, the balancing, and the synthesizing of the mental, physical, and spiritual you. Life is worth it, guys. Life is worth it. And you don't have to spend all these times and hours in the gym and in the churches and, studying, crossword puzzles and Sudoku and doing all these things for your mental, physical, your mental health and wellness. You just have to be genuine with the little or the lot amount of time that you put into it. One genuine moment is better than 5,000 hours of disingenuous moments where you're going through the gym or going to church or you're practicing some of the mental strategies. Reach out for the ministry. I'd love to speak with you about some of the things, some of the services that are provided to help, particularly the older group of people or human beings, if you will, keep their mental faculties crisp, sharp, and firing on all cylinders. And for the younger adults, I got some good old-fashioned mental strategies, one of which is just being willing to take in new information, consider new information, new possibilities. That always keeps the mind firing. Don't limit your way of thinking or your way of researching in one particular area. But those are some things that are very pivotal, guys. Life demands it, and life is worth it. Reach out to this ministry if I could be of service to you guys. Here are some services that are actually provided by the ministry, as a matter of fact, that are designed to help you on your journey, mentally, physically, and spiritually. These services are philosophical counseling and youth and young adult mentoring and counseling for the mental self. For the spiritual self, there's a variety of clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. Reach out to the ministry. I'm going to leave that email link down in the description box if you'd like to know what those are. And of course, for the physical fitness training, there is certified ISSA fitness training. Go to the website at mountfitnessmbs.com to get some information about that. And if you're interested in any of the services, hit me up by way of the email link that's down in the description box. Now, please give back to the ministry, guys. It's very important. Your love, your thoughts, your generosity, your encouragement. Please like, share, and subscribe. There's a Cash App link down there if you'd like to show your support by way of a monetary donation. And if so, send pennies, nickels, dimes, quarter, whatever your wallet, whatever lines up with your wallet and what you're able to send, whatever lines up with your heart, whatever He instructs you to give. Truly, it's not about the amount. It's about the thought that counts. So keep that in mind. Hey, share the video. Send me some love. Leave me a comment. Thumbs up the video. Whatever good seed, whatever it is, good seed that you plant into this ministry, expect to receive your harvest by faith. An abundant harvest, shaken down, pressed together, and running over. Receive it by faith, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Again, my spiritual family members that are hurting the absolute most, the Bible has prophesied that it is a day and a time set for us, this collective group of people, to rise. And that time is now. That time is now. And you can be in the ghetto, you could be not in the ghetto. But if you got a clean heart and you know you don't fit in and there's some challenges and bumps along the way, but you refuse to surrender your clean heart, it's our time to rise. And this is how we do it. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and yes, I will holla back. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the support, the generosity. Reach out if I could be of service to you. Thanks. Peace, guys.